So Gareth, tell me what you're seeing in the markets, brother.
Yeah, so a beautiful little move here. And again, this is something that usually happens, and I'll share my screen here. But one of the things that I do in the stock trading game is always look for January effect plays. And basically what happens in January is anyone who was going to sell an asset to take a tax loss or offset gains does that in December, right? So once you get to January, it takes a lot of the selling pressure away from assets, and that includes stocks and cryptocurrencies. I think going into January, I was kind of expecting this little bounce here. Again, I say little because Bitcoin, again, 16,000 to 18,800, not the biggest move in history of Bitcoin. But to me right now, it still hasn't proved itself. So yeah, at least at this point, I'm in the position of thinking that it's a great move, but I would recommend for myself selling into this up move.
For my position, I actually sold a little bit too early. I should have held on a little bit longer. But once we got in that pocket, around 18,216 roughly was my average. That's kind of where I exited my position. Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, it is pretty overextended right now, in my opinion.
The price of the largest cryptocurrency quickly rises towards the $19,800 level. Over 7% for the day. It skyrocketed to its highest level since last year, November of 2022, as the mischievous FTX collapsed because of a certain individual, but we are not going to call any name.
Got him! Got him!
The price is now up about 24% this year after falling over 63% in 2022. On the bright side, a resistance point is near at the $19,500 area, above where the price might go up even further at a steady increase. In my price prediction, the price might hit around the 19,800 zone. Any more positive momentum might cause the price of Bitcoin to move towards the $20,000 level. Furthermore, the price of the second largest cryptocurrency climbed higher above the $1,400 resistance zone against the American dollar. On the upside, the positive gains can further rise towards to the $1,500 zone. I don't know about you guys, but things are started to look bullish this year. Before we listen to the rest of this Gareth Soloway and Crypto Zombies market update, please take a moment to hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already.
It's a great move. You can see this downsloping trend line right here. We finally broke above it. That kind of kick-started the rally in early January. We're now kind of kissing this little underbelly of this chop here. The biggest thing that I'm paying attention to is this fall, right? So you had this big fall, which was the FTX collapse. That would be the only way for me to really start to get semi-bullish on Bitcoin is if we were to eclipse that high. And that's a very psychological thing, right? So you've had so many people damaged by FTX. The whole crypto space, you could argue, got damaged by FTX. And so if price were to trade above that, psychologically, that would be a big relief to investors, you know, and I think that would draw in a lot of new money. So right now, I look at this as a bear market rally. It's still inside of that move. Just to do one thing here that's kind of cool, we'll do a parallel trend line. And if we stretch this line here and then stretch it up, look at that. See this high right here, and then look at where we just kissed right there. And so this is stuck inside of what we would consider a bear flag, or in spirit of bear flag. So yeah, at least at this point, I'm in the position of thinking that it's a great move, but I would recommend for myself selling into this up move.
And talk to me about what you're seeing and what you're doing personally as it relates to the markets right now.
Well, as I said, I did have a lot of charts I wanted to show. I can't really pull them up right now. But I wanted to talk about, or at least what I had noticed was on the DXY, there was actually a death cross. And like I said, I wish I could show it to you right now, but we had basically the 50 moving average moving below the 200 on the simple daily. And ultimately, if you actually go back in history, every single time dating back to 2013 that we had that, Bitcoin actually had a rally. It either led it into the rally or it was mid-rally and continued to rally. But I mentioned that over the weekend and I said, hey, there's a good chance that we're going to get some type of a bear market rally pump. Now, the areas that I had been looking at was between around 18,160 and let's see, 18,437. I was actually a little bit shocked to find out how fast and how hard we pumped today, although it had something to do with Miss El Salvador. I don't know if you saw that. She had the Bitcoin. She was wearing like a Bitcoin.
I didn't see that.
The Miss Universe pageant, Miss El Salvador. She actually had like a Bitcoin like little lollipop thing she was holding, and she was all decked out in gold and stuff. I swear, I'm not making it up.
If you guys don't know what Crypto Zombie is talking about, on January 13th, a Miss Universe contestant from El Salvador strutted onto stage this week wearing a Bitcoin-inspired gold bodysuit, a glittering tribute to her country becoming the world's first to adopt the cryptocurrency as legal tender 2 years ago. What do you guys think? Did you guys think she influenced the Bitcoin price to pump? Let me know in the comments section below.
That's great.
So maybe she was responsible for it. But I mean, if Gareth, I saw he had some of those similar trend lines, and I noticed that if you kind of take that pop that we had back on, it was September 13th, and you draw up, a downward sloping horizontal. Again, I'd love to be able to be showing you this. It kind of is calling for the fact that we've been rallying like a little bit too much. So I did tell everybody, for my position, I actually sold a little bit too early. I should have held on a little bit longer. But once we got in that pocket, around 18,216 roughly was my average. That's kind of where I exited my position.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is pretty overextended right now in my opinion.
That's to show you guys Bitcoin can surprise anyone at any given date. And if you are trading Bitcoin, please do not trade with your emotions because you will lose in the downturn. Have patience and get more knowledge on reading the chart more correctly. Without further ado, let's get back to the video.
I mean, personally, like I said, if you really don't want to rally too fast, too hard, because we've seen in the past when Bitcoin has done that. For example, when we were coming out of the bear market of 2019, we had that crazy rally up to $14,000 back in June of 2019. Yeah. And in my opinion, it happened just a little bit too quick. So the way that I'm trying to explain it to people right now, and this is ignoring all the macro, this is just like the charts and just looking at the prices, I would rather chop sideways, kind of in a range for the rest of this year. I know that's not what people want to hear, versus have some crazy, blow off rally where we go up to like 33 or something crazy fast, because then I think we're going to get what we had back in 2018, 2019, 2020, where you're actually going to have an even longer bear market, because you kind of pump too fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an interesting situation where the S&P is up today. Crypto's up today. We've seen a 4-day run up on the stock market. Basically, that coincides with the run up on crypto. So you are seeing this continued kind of connection with risk assets going up together. And really, to be honest, that's my biggest fear for crypto. I think that the FTX scenario is kind of hopefully the worst is over now type scenario where we don't see anything as big as FTX coming forth. But now it's more of, okay, well, if the stock market declines, do people panic and sell their crypto anyways? And that what drives it down. So, I mean, the stock market to me is hanging on by a thread. Just to show my chart real quick on the S&P 500. Take a look here. So look at what we've done. So you had this drop, which was right off this trend line. And then look today, we filled a gap and we went right to that line. And this is, again, a bigger downtrend trend line on the S&P 500. So I'm in the position where I'm actually short the S&P 500. I'm not short crypto. I want to be clear on that. Anytime something falls 70% from its highs, you're not going to catch me shorting at the lows anymore. Just like you shouldn't have been buying Bitcoin at 60, 65,000 at the highs. But it's more of staying away and maybe taking profits on some of these moves in crypto because you're worried about the stock market having another big rollover to it. So I think the S&P is going to be down 25% in 2023. I think crypto will drop probably towards 9,000 before it's all said and done, but then by end of year probably recover towards 20 again. So I think there's going to be this changeover where you go from a risk asset being crypto to where it becomes a store of safety in the second half of the year once we get that transparency, hopefully from regulation.
We would love to hear your thoughts on Gareth Soloway and Crypto Zombie point of view on the market. If you guys like this video, please don't be afraid to hit the like button and subscribe, because it will be greatly appreciated to help me reach more future millionaire like you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
I'm Pickle Rick!